We've got to test some things and make sure that the sound is good to go. All right, and it appears to be that we are live along all the fruited plains of the internet. As Robert Guevara would say. So Elon is apparently any minute now going to be going live with everything related to the Hunter Biden story. He was supposed to go live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and fortunately for me, he ended up not being able to do that. So this kind of came somewhat completely out of the blue. Everyone kind of knew that he had been talking about doing this, but nobody knew that he would be doing this today. So basically, he gave no one a heads up in advance saying, hey, this is when we're going to do this. So let's go. Yeah. And it was basically saying we don't care at all that you're not gonna do this. This is what you don't want this. It's this is what we're gonna do. And if you didn't like the fact that you didn't get a little bit of a heads up saying, oh yeah, this is what we're doing, because the nobody in the media has gotten a chance to look at what he's going to say in advance. And so they haven't gotten a chance to try and fact check any of this, go over it and say, this is what he's lying about, this is the truth, and on and on and on. It's just been, nope, this is what we're doing. So, yeah. I mean, it's perfect. It's not perfect for him, mind you. He's not finding any of it, or the media isn't finding any of this perfect. But in his mind, in his view, oh, this is totally perfect. This is what we're gonna do. The media was complicit in this. The media was complicit in the hiding and the lying. And so you, media, do not get a heads up that we're finally going to reveal the extent with which Twitter may have hit it. I was like, this is what we're not going to do. We're not going to be like, oh, hey, so you want to know everything? Okay, well, this is the date and this is the time, and you can probably hear my cat in the background. Yeah. So there has been no chance, no opportunity for them to try to spin this in any way, shape, or form. I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to view this here. This is not. Oh, I see why it's doing it. I'm doing chat overlay, so that's why I'm in kind of a weird spot. I'm on a weird screen. Woo-hoo. We are here for all the things. And so is Maverick. Maverick is here for all the things. He is here for everything going sideways. But let's make sure that we have this specifically on his Twitter page, because we are under the impression, we are under the assumption, and he's Maverick. We are under the assumption that he's gonna be going live on his Twitter is where we're assuming that all of this is going to be going down and going to be taking place at around 5:21 p.m. He said that there was going to be a wait of about 40 minutes. I'm going to see if I can get some people interested in coming on with me. Talk about this. All right, he's even saying that it's going to include a Twitter Q&A. So, like, again, he is just completely bypassing mainstream media. And he's just saying, yeah, not the media, not just my assumption is that the average person like you and I could potentially ask him questions. You don't have to be anybody in particular in order to get to ask questions. So this will be, I think, really, really interesting, because again, it's looking like the average person is going to get to ask questions, not just media. And so they're just completely bypassing the media on all of this, and he's going straight to the people. And that's just not something that they typically does not happen. Typically some information would be given to the media in advance. They would have a date and they would have a time. They might have a synopsis. They might even not bother to go live like what he is doing. Or they might say, like, hey, press conference is being held here, and certain people get invited to that press conference, and then the mainstream media is going to broadcast it. But nope, no. He is going all hands on deck here. Everybody, come on in. Let's talk about it. So, and this is gonna piss people off, because they're not gonna get to fact check him in advance. Um, and I'm wondering just how easily they're going to be able to fact check anybody on this. They're going to be probably um, playing catch up, and that's really going to piss them off. I just love it. I just love the fact that he's going to be completely um, pissing off the mainstream media with this. Do something here. I'm gonna try to get a hold of one more person. Chances are I'm not gonna get anybody. Come on. But I'm gonna attempt it. You know, and he's I mean, he's just as an owner, he's completely changing the way that people would typically handle this situation. Lot this is just not normal in any way, shape, or form. It's hard to say just when people will be going live here because I know they're chat backing some things you said. So let's double check what we got going on here. It was 44 minutes ago that he said start live tweeting in about 40 minutes. So they really needed to include video with this. I would think that he should have video with this, but I don't think that that's what he's going to do. I don't think that that's how he's going to do it at all, which sucks. I think he's just going to kind of live tweet everything is what it sounded like to me. But he really should like put together like a presentation and do it with video. And I don't think that that's what he's going to do. Do you think that's what he's going to do, Maverick? What do you think he's going to do? Nothing? Maverick, you need to stop biting me. Come on. Stay. No, we're not playing right now. We're live streaming. Do I need to put you out of the room? And if you keep trying to bite me because you want to play, then I'm going to have to kick you out of the room. Come on. How much longer are you going to be fact-checking everything? Just kind of silly. Oh, I obviously have time to invite one more person here. I don't expect anyone to actually say yes. But as you know, I do have a link here to some of the information about what is supposedly in his laptop. And I say, you know, allegedly, simply because at this point, what do you really believe anymore? You know, what do you really believe, and what do you think is the truth? You know, I think it gets harder to try and figure out what the truth of the matter is supposed to be, because you get fucking lied to so much. All right, let's refresh the stream, making sure I'm not missing something here. Yeah, somebody else is like, oh, yeah, Miles Challen said the MSN is gonna hate you for this. Oh, you mean the same MSN that all colluded to suppress the story? That MSN? Yeah, yeah. He was sad about something that somebody said. Oh, I think it must have been like a sarcastic crying emoji to the fact that MSN is going to hate him. But I mean, they get no time to really check this and try to spin it. It's all just getting put out there in real time. So yeah, they're not gonna like this. I however love it. I absolutely love it. So but it's not clear what's going on. But he makes this a collaboration with people. Major Twitter system improvements were implemented this week to drop hammer hard on scam accounts. I don't really know that I can say whether or not I've noticed improvement. 60% say that they do. I was among 60.4% said that they do. I was among the 39.6% that says I don't really know. And I don't think so. But he's saying, please screenshot examples that Twitter needs to fix. So, it's really interesting to watch him make people a part of the process. To follow along with this and and understand what needs to change. Let's see. Message here to somebody. Like, yeah, he is not gonna be happy. Not happy at all. But the question now is, I think that you got to ask, is this happening or not? He's like, this is going to be awesome. It's not going to be awesome, my dude, if you don't actually do it. That's kind of what it ends up making it awesome, you know. But all we can really do at this point is kind of wait for him to get his act together. Well, let's see what happens here. See what this is all about.
I'm going to go off for a minute here because where is the outrage? It's been a week and a half, and now we're doing this story. I get it. Thanksgiving was... Where's the outrage? I'm going to go off for a minute here because where is the outrage? It's been a week and a half, and now we're doing this story. I get it. Thanksgiving was happening and all that, but they tried to hide behind that, right? Maybe this will make it through the news cycle. No, it's not, okay? Adidas didn't cut ties 48 hours after Kanye did his whole thing, right? And they got lambasted for not speaking out against anti-Semitism. This is a week and a half, and nobody seems to care that there's little kids involved in this. I can't speak what it's like to be a black man, right? I can't speak what it's like to be a Jewish woman, but I can speak what it's like to be a father of 2 young boys. And that this type of behavior, when I worked at CBS.com out of a little closet, my first show, I was like, I'm going to say this and wear a blue shirt. I got 49 emails saying, maybe wear a purple shirt and maybe don't say this here. Don't tell me this slipped through the cracks when you're getting a court case that features child pornography. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. Jeopardy's got to flip their whole production because of one person said something, but they wanted to be woke and do all that. How many other examples are there? 10, 20, 30, 40 years we're going back to cancel people? But this slips through the cracks. It's outrageous. And that people aren't outraged and skipping work with their posters and going to the courthouse or going to Balenciaga, and stars aren't wiping their Instagram and social media with all their Balenciaga gear is disgusting in itself. Don't you tell me, Hollywood, how to live my life, or you want me canceled, or because you produce something. You're going to go around because Balenciaga pays you $1 million, $2 million, $5 million?
Wow.
Kim Kardashian, shame on you. You're a billionaire. You don't need this company. They need you. And for you to take a week and a half to come to a conclusion, shame on you.
Whew. Preach. I don't know who this guy. Did they say who that guy was? It was somebody posted on something on TikTok.
Where's the outrage? I'm going to go off for a minute here.
What's going off? So for those that are restreaming right now, we are waiting for Elon to come on and reveal everything there is to know about the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop on Twitter. In the past we have we heard a little bit from Meta and Facebook about what they did. Mark Zuckerberg gave a whole interview about stuff that had been happening with them, and I guess they've been hearing from like the FBI a little bit, somebody from within the government. I saw a clip about it once. I'm not sure if I would be able to find it now, but for some reason we are still waiting. I was hoping that this was going to be like he was going to include video as well. Yeah, I know that he's going to be doing a live Q&A with it. But beyond that, we don't really know what is going to happen. What we do know is that he's going to piss MSN off with this. Because, for like the first time, they're not being given any kind of heads up. They haven't been like, hey, this is when we're doing our press conference. Here's kind of an overview of what we're going to talk about. He didn't give any time, any chance for anything to get leaked and for anybody to kind of restream it any way that they want. That's not what's happening. He's just being like, no, we're just gonna fucking release it all. Here you go. There's gonna be a live Q&A. You're gonna get the information at the same time everybody else gets the information. And I love to reply that somebody had told him, MSN is gonna hate you for this. Here's that. And Miles Chong, I kind of know a little bit about him. MSN is gonna hate you for this. And Elon being Elon. Oh, you mean the same MSN that all colluded to suppress the story? That MSN? Oh. If over there restreaming on Corv, if you're still restreaming, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them in your chat. Perhaps Roaches in the Cabinet will be kind enough to let me know what questions that you have. If you don't know Corv on Twitter, they're pretty cool. Let's go over there and I can get you the link. But let me double check here to make sure that nothing's happened. Oh my gosh. Come on, Elon. Alright, so I putting a link here to Corv. You should check him out. They're pretty cool. They restream local stuff. And I can see that they are restreaming me now. Woo-hoo. And I've had a bunch of messages that I've missed. Oh, missed something interesting quite a while back that I'm gonna have to take a look at. Want to say hi, everyone? You want to sit on my lap? It's looking like we're gonna have a little bit of wait here. So here's something interesting that somebody seems to think is gonna happen. Let's pull this up here and let's actually. Against your wealth information that the FBI contacted Twitter to say that there was likely ongoing attempt by foreign powers to interfere in the U.S. election with disinformation. There was then a debate internally at Twitter about whether this counted as hacked material or election interference. There was a debate around it, including some probable clumsy statements by individuals and probably some internal arguments about it on Slack and email, no doubt. You'll pull a few comments from those out of context and not provide the full discussion, which would almost certainly result in violating the privacy of a bunch of employees. So we won't know if you're presenting the full story. If he does, I'm sure there is an insider that will out him, and also anything else that has happened since then on his watch. Again, just a bad thing for the community if your goal was to provide that. Who is this Tom Coates dude? New product, strategy, and development. Previous BBC, Yahoo, Time Out, Nokia, Jawbone, Wired, and Arrow. Founded a couple of things too. I mean, that's certainly an interesting take. This is parody. Breaking. Elon Musk has just revealed that he has information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. This is a parody website. That's not. Yeah, that's not what's happening, folks. Just in case, anyone was confused. Maybe do a live Q&A on this instead. And so this has been something that Elon Musk has insisted that hate speech has gone down. And of course, you've always got somebody that's going to be like, that's not true. But they've also said that Twitter was, going to collapse any day. And it hasn't. So, I mean, who knows? New Twitter owner Elon Musk declared last month that the hate speech impressions had dramatically fallen on the platform since he took over. It was a remarkable claim, given that Musk was executed mass layoffs and chased away hundreds of employees, drained the company of much-needed resources to inform content moderation policies, which the billionaire has also publicly criticized. On Friday, 2 watchdog groups published research that indicated Musk's claims simply did not hold water, offering one of the clearest pictures to date of the surging tide of hate speech on the platform. The Center for Countering Digital Hate and the Defamation League both said in reports that the volume of hate speech on Twitter had grown dramatically under his stewardship. Specifically, the daily use of the N-word under Musk has tripled the 2022 average, and the use of slurs against gay men and trans persons are up 58% and 62% respectively. I'm just trying to understand, who do these people follow that this is a problem? Because honestly, I never see a whole lot. I never really do. And so I'm confused by the idea that they say, oh, we're constantly seeing hate speech. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I never see an increase in the N-word. I never see an increase in derogatory stuff about gay people. So who are these people following that they're like, it's awful. It's off the rails. I don't get it. I must be missing something. A lot of what you see and what you don't see is going to depend on who it is that you're following on Twitter. If the people you are following on Twitter are expressing hate speech, don't fucking follow them. Block them. Mute them. Call them out on it. Report it. Whatever the fuck you want. Because there may very well be an increase, but I don't follow these people, so I never see it. And so you can read these reports about them saying, hey, it's increased, but if you're very rarely ever seeing any of it, why should people believe you when you say that it's increased? So, again, thank you to Curve_420 for rebroadcasting me. If you have questions, I have his stream pulled up. Feel free to drop them in chat, and I will be happy to answer any of those. So, and the Anti-Defamation League has also said, oh, yes, this is what is happening. It's, it's horrible. It's all just horrible. Did you hear us when we said that it's all just horrible? because it's horrible. Anti-Defamation League described the deteriorating state of affairs as a troubling situation that will likely get worse, given the reports cuts to Twitter's content moderation staff. The reports came just hours after Kanye West's Twitter account was suspended after he posted an altered image of the Star of David with a swastika inside and appeared on Alex Jones' InfoWars, where he praised Hitler. Now, this I did see. This I did see. And that was bad. And what I gotta be careful how I couch this. Hitler, he was an evil dude. Now, did he have I often maybe heard that he dramatically improved their structure? What's the word I'm looking for? The infrastructure of Germany? Yes, I have heard that. And so when he was trying to talk about, he did highways, he was referring to that. They apparently had, before Hitler came into power, they had apparently really crappy infrastructure. Is kind of what I heard. And he made steps to improve that. But all this bullshit, well, he created the microphone. That didn't happen. He invented highways. He did not invent the highways. The highways have been around at least since the Romans when they built highways. The early highways were trade routes between different areas. And the Romans needed long, winding paths, roads, to various locations. Anywhere that they had a fort or whatnot, he would make that. So could you say that the reason maybe why the people of Germany loved Hitler is because of certain things that he did that were good, so to speak? Yeah, they probably did. But he knew that the key to a successful war, to making Germany a better nation, was going to be infrastructure. He didn't do this out of the goodness of his heart. He didn't do any of that because he was a good person. No. He was evil. But people they need to better understand their history for loads of reasons. Because when people say the kinds of things that they do, they need to have context for it. Or else everybody's just gonna be like, oh, he's praising Hitler. He's saying Hitler is wonderful. Well, I mean, it definitely seems like he's trying to say that makes everything that Elsa Hitler did okay somehow, I suppose. But if you understand a little bit about your history, then you understand that there was some things that Hitler did that helped Germany, that helped the people of Germany at that time. But he was still an evil, horrible person. You have to know your history in order to put it in proper context. And if people don't know their history, then I suppose maybe it ends up being a bad thing when someone like Kanye says that BS. He's completely off his rocker. I think he's in the middle of some kind of mental breakdown. but he was getting some things slightly right. But again, in order to understand what was right and what was wrong in what he said, you've got to know your history. And the problem of it is that too often mainstream media and everybody counts on everybody else not knowing their history. So, Ahmed, chief executive of the Center for Countering Digital Hate, said that Musk has set up the bat signal to every kind of racist, misogynist, and homophobe that Twitter was open for business, and they have that. What was the bat signal exactly? Did he have a bright light that he put out that was like racist welcome on Twitter? Is that what he did? This is people are something else. A safe space for hate is a hostile environment to most decent folks. Well, I mean, yeah, okay. I'm not gonna argue that. I think that Elon must be a little bit like Nick Rekieta when it comes to being on time. The joke is often late and gay, and right now he is really, really late. Oh wait a minute. Here we go. The Twitter files. Okay, someone named Matt Tlaib is live here. What is going on here? Who is Matt Tlaib? Author of Griftopia, The Divide, The Business Secrets of Drug Dealing, and Hate Inc. So, what is up here? What you're about to read is the first installment in a series. Here, let's do it this way. I'm gonna go ahead and hide chat so we can get this as big as we want. Okay. The Twitter Files. What you're about to read is the first installment in a series based upon thousands of internal documents obtained by sources of Twitter. The Twitter Files tell an incredible story from the inside of one of the world's largest and most influential social media platforms. It is a frankenstein of a human-built mechanism grown out of its designer. Twitter, in its conception, was a brilliant tool for enabling instant mass communication, making a true real-time global conversation possible for the first time. True, absolutely fair. And in early conception, Twitter more than lived up to its mission statement, giving people the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. I mean, that you could say that that's pretty much true of a lot of things potentially. Oh, hold on a second here. We've lost it. There we go. I mean, Twitter isn't, I don't think, is the only thing at that time that you could say that of, necessarily. As time progressed, however, the company was slowly forced to add barriers. Some of the first tools for controlling speech was designed to combat the likes of spam and financial fraudsters. I mean, yeah, and none of that is necessarily even bad. Especially when you're thinking about financial fraudsters, you don't want to make it easy for people to commit crimes. You want to make it as hard as you possibly can for people to commit crimes. You don't want it to, it shouldn't be easy for people to do, the wrong thing. Slowly, over time, Twitter staff and executives began to find more and more uses for these tools. Outsiders began petitioning the company to manipulate speech as well. First a little, then more often, then constantly. So... Alright, what's going on here? Hey, Maverick. No, I'm not done yet. You want to sit on my lap while we do this? Hmm? Stop trying to knock stuff off my desk. Okay. I think the cat's gonna have to get kicked out of my bedroom. Come on. Let's get your toy here. Go get it. So Megan, this take a really long time. Okay, wait. Here we go. Tweet number 8 here. By 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another. Warner review from Biden team. The reply would come back handled. Look at those. Got some emails redacted there. And I mean, this was kind of what we'd always really they would tell about excuse me. What a review from the Biden team. It was a list. 5:39 p.m. That was sent to them. Within a little less than 3 hours later, they were emailed to say, we handled these. And all we have is the statuses themselves. I'm assuming that we probably get something that said that these were no longer available. Something like that. See, to me, this would be much more effective if he was doing this as a live stream. It would be much more effective, in my opinion, if he did it that way. But instead, we're gonna piecemeal it out here for you. That's the way that we're gonna do it. I mean, come on, Elon. I tried to put on a nicer shirt. Tried to fix my hair. Had to go ahead and put on a hat. I had to do all of that for you to make me sit here and you just drag this out. I want to show you some of the comments. I really hope we are counting higher than 8. Somebody else. Juicy. Or there's a docs it all. Connected actors. Name them. Well, hopefully that's kind of the point of this is to name shit, you know? I mean, could putting people on blast get him sued? Oh, maybe. Celebrities and unknowns alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party. I grabbed the first one under SI, defer to safety on the high profile second one. An additional report from DNC. Oh, a real James Woods status. Ooh. James Woods. We all know who James Woods is, right? For those of you that don't remember real James Woods, he was an actor. He's been in a couple things. He's also on Instagram. This is wild. That's James Woods. We're hopefully gonna get some more information here on what some of these were, because they're just giving the links. They're not. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Both parties had access to these tools. For instance, in 2020, requests from both the Trump White House and the Biden campaign were received and honored. However, so I mean, this is interesting. You know, there was things that they apparently. Please tell me you're not being paid by the word. Oh shit. That's just basic misinfo control. You didn't even try to cherry pick stuff you could sell as scandalous. You all can use the way back machine to check the tweets. But does that make it okay? Because that's what you're basically saying here is you cherry picked things. That's just basic in this info control. You can't really tell it as scandalous, but where do you draw the fucking line? Is the problem. Oh man. This would have been so much better as a live. Y'all know I'm right. This would have been so much more interesting if he had done it that way. But he's not doing it this way. The system wasn't balanced. It was based on context. Because Twitter was and is overwhelmingly staffed by people of one political orientation. There were more channels, more ways to complain open to the left, well, Democrats, than the right. And here he has contributions by party of recipients. I'm trying to make sure I understand what it is that we're looking at here. So I guess this is what Twitter did? I think I'm a little confused. This is from opensecrets.org, so let's go to Open Secrets and see what they're reporting. Okay. All right, yeah, so it is what Twitter was donating to. Wow. They ranked 2,112 of 27,633 in contributions, lobbying 534 outside spending. I'm not really sure what that means. By outside spending. Democratic Party of Wisconsin. Wondering why they were so worried about donating to them at the time. Oh. Okay, no organization themselves cannot contribute to candidates and party committees. Figures on this page includes contributions and spending by affiliates. Okay. No, this isn't getting updated. The resulting slant and content moderation decisions is visible in the documents you're about to read. However, it also has assessment of multiple current and former high-level executives. Okay, there was more thorough clearing about the process, but screw it. Let's jump forward. The Twitter files, part 1. How and why Twitter blocked the Hunter Biden laptop. Okay, so we're finally getting into the nick to the nit and gritty here, I guess. There's all these land and content moderation and the decisions is visible in the documents you're about to read. However, it is also assessment of multiple content and former high-level executives. Okay, there's more clearing about the process, but screw it, let's jump forward. Oh, what process are you talking about? Oh, Mary. Oh. You know, we basically just gotta have to sit here and wait. Oh, they did. There was a jump here. Okay. So why was there the jumps? Did I not realize what Oh goodness. This is hilarious. Well, 12, 13. Oh goodness. On October 14th, 2020, the New York Post published a Biden secret email, an expose based on the contents of Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop. Yeah, that we remember. Some of you may remember that. I have those emails. We can go over those at some point. Whole Twitter board right now. See, this really would have been a lot more interesting if he had done it the way that I'm suggesting that he should have done it. It should have been a live stream. You know, he's able to do things in a very professional way that'll appeal to a lot of people. But instead, we gotta piecemeal all of this. People are all like, you skipped a number. Oh, overwhelming God. If you're watching us on Rumble right now, don't forget to hear that plusy sign. Subscribe. Drop us a note or a question. Drop some names, please. We're getting there, people. Scrolling for days to be probably net fine, define 13 through 15. So basically, the whole democracy is on ballot thing was just a complete farce, and the Democrats are fascists. They've been calling us for years. Got it. How me and my conspiracy chums look at the rest of you fucktards. Oh, oh goodness. Oh wait, there's been a whole bunch here. Been a whole bunch. Twitter took extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and postings Warnings that it made sounds unsafe. They even blocked its transmission via direct message, a tool hitherto reserved for string cases, e.g., child pornography. Yeah, I'd be on board with that. White House spokeswoman Kayleigh McEnany was locked out of her account for tweeting about the story, prompting a furious letter from Trump campaign staffer Mike Hahn, who said at least pretend to care for the next 20 days. This led policy executives Caroline Strom to send out a polite WTF query. Several employees noted that there was tension between the comms/policy teams, who had little less control over moderation, and the safety trust teams. Strom's note returned the answer that the laptop story had been removed for violation of the company's hacked material policy. All right, so now that we've read these, let's read this here. So Kayleigh McEnany, I've never really quite known how to pronounce her name, has been locked from her account for simply talking about the New York Post story. All she did was cite the story and first-hand reporting that had been reported by other outlets and not disputed by the Biden campaign. I need an answer immediately on when, how she will be unlocked. I don't appreciate how nobody on this team called me regarding the news that you'll be censoring news articles. Like I said, at least pretend to care for the next 20 days. I started to send a polite WTF query. Several employees noted that there was tension. Oh. Strom's note returned the answer that the laptop story had been removed for violating the company's hacked web materials. But nothing was hacked, though, was fake. Nothing was hacked. If you wanted to say that somehow leaking the material was wrong, then I guess fine. But nothing was ever hacked. Doesn't make sense. So they can't, they can't really. It was stupid to be like, oh, it violated all hacking policy. Bunch of seals. Just repeating what they're told. You can't violate a hacking policy when you didn't actually hack anything. Make sense? I think so. But we're gonna spin this as they do. So can I click on that? See what this shows. We don't condone attempts to compromise or infiltrate computer systems for malicious purpose. Nothing was infiltrated. You didn't have to infiltrate anything. The laptop was left in his possession. As such, we don't permit the use of our services to directly distribute content obtained through hacking that contains private information. May put people in physical harm or danger or can change trade secrets. You also may not threaten to hack or break into someone's digital information or attempt to incentivize others to do so. Nothing, but again, nothing was hacked. Nothing was hacked. hacking would have to imply that, they didn't have technical access to it, but they did, though, is the thing. Now, you can make arguments about what they had permission and the right to do with that information. You can make, some arguments about that, I suppose. But their excuse is stupid. Although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning from federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, there's no evidence that I have seen of any government involvement in the laptop story, and that might have been the problem. The decision was made at the highest levels of the company, but without the knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey, with former head of legal, policy, and trust, Vijaya Gad playing a key role. They just freelanced it, is how a former employee characterized the decision. The hacking was the excuse, but within a few hours, pretty much everyone realized that wasn't going to hold, but no one had the guts to reverse it. You can see the confusion in the following linked exchange, with ends up including Gad and former Trust and Safety Chief Yoel Roth. He was on there until recently, but now he's the former. Interesting. Comms official Trenton Kennedy writes, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe. So let's see exactly what this is. Near post, privileged and confidential. Interesting. Now, see, if I was them, I wouldn't be posting just the screen grabs. I'd be posting all the files for everybody to go through, and not just Harry trick what you wanted everybody to read and see. And that's kind of what they're doing at this point. You know you can tweet it all at once, right? Although several sources recalled hearing about a general warning. No. Okay, here we go. By this point, everyone knew this was fucked, said one former employee, but the response was essentially to err on the side of continuing to err. The policy basis is hacked material. Though, as discussed, this is an emergent situation where the facts remain unclear, given the severe risk here and lessons of 2016. Erring on the side of including a warning and preventing this content from being amplified. What is the warning that will come up? Says it has to be Yoel When you click the link, you'll see a generic unsafe URL message references spam, malware, and violations of the rules. Not ideal, but it's the only thing we have. And plug it. What we do in the comms will become a bias claim for Jack pre-hearing immediately. Let's make it clear that we're proactively but cautiously interpreting this through the lens of our hack materials policy and aligning the link with a warning and significant reduction of spread. So I think, one thing that you're seeing here is, if you're gonna just decide to try and clamp down on something, prevent from something from being said or done or spread, then you've got to kind of figure out you got to have a reason for it. You got to be able to prove that it's that it's a problem. And here they're saying this is an emergency. This is an emerging situation. But you've decided that you need to take the responsibility of clamping down on stuff. So how do you decide when something needs to be, clamped down on? You got to prevent its spread. You got to put warnings on it. How do you decide any of that when it's a developing situation? If you're going to limit the spread of anything, I mean, it's just. I like how this is kind of filmsily going over the details that were basically well known, but then adding insight from an employee that makes it seem more controversial. Scott Pressler, I haven't heard anything out of him. So Twitter made an unjustifiable decision to suppress major news story that would have hurt the party that a majority of its employees donate to based on a lie and continued that lie for fear of being exposed. Jack full hell. Just get to the part about aliens. Oh, goodness. Why did you do this way, Elon? Please, if you want to know the proper way to expose information, ask me, ask Fair and Balance, ask for Kata Law. We can tell you, do a live stream, get your camera all set up, get your slideshow, all that great snazzy little stuff, and re-stream it. This is just like, this is dumb. This was a dumb way to do this. By this point, everyone knew this was fucked, and one former employee, but their response was essentially to err on the side. Former VP of Global Comms, Brandon Mormon, asked, "Can we truthfully claim that this is part of the policy?" His whole statement here is, to the point, can we truthfully claim that this is part of the policy as part of our approach to addressing the potentially hacked materials? Are we limiting visibility of related stories on Twitter while our investigation is ongoing? Well, of it is you never really had a basis for doing it to begin with. But you've decided that that this is what you're gonna do. That when there are times that you're gonna take things and you're going to try to suppress them. And so you just act immediately whether you know the full story or not. And you're gonna get things wrong. You're gonna get shit wrong, and they got some shit wrong. They got some shit wrong. To which former Deputy General Counselor Jim Baker again seems to advise staying the non-course because caution is warranted. I support the conclusion that we need more facts to assess whether the materials were hacked at this stage. However, it is reasonable for us to assume that they have been, and the caution is warranted. There are some facts that indicate the materials may have been hacked, while others indicated the computer was either abandoned and/or the owner consented to allow the repair shop to access it for at least some purposes. We simply need more information. A fundamental problem with tech companies and content moderation. Many people in charge of speech know/care little about speech and have to be told the basics by outsiders. To wit, in one humorous exchange one day, Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna reaches out to Gade to gently suggest she hop on the phone to talk about the backlash RU speech. Khanna was the only Democrat official I could find in the files who expressed concerns. Generating huge backlash on Hill regarding speech. Happy to chat if you're up for it. Best row. Cadet replies quickly, immediately diving into the weeds of Twitter policy, unaware Khanna is more worried about the Bill of Rights. Thank you for reaching out. We appreciate the heads up. We put out clarified fan tweets earlier this evening explaining our policy around the posting of private information and linking directly to hacked materials. The press secretary's account was not permanently suspended. We requested that she delete the tweet containing the material that is a violation of our rules, and her account is restricted until she complies. I'd be happy to jump on the phone if helpful. My team in DC, Jessica and Lauren, are copied here and also available to discuss. An act in search of justification. Tell us about the New York Post Twitter spat about the validity of the story. That should be informative. That probably would be interesting. I mean, to me, it was clear from the get-go that he had left the laptop somewhere. The person had, information, the right to look at it for at least certain purposes. So, yeah. Khanna tries to reel out the conversation to the First Amendment, mention of which is generally hard to find in the files. I'm just wondering if we're going to get a chance to really look through all of this. Hope you're well, but this seems a violation of the First Amendment principles. If there is a hacked classified information or other information that could expose serious war crimes, and the NYT was to publish it, I think the NYT should have that right. A journalist should not be held accountable for the illegal actions of the source unless they actively aided the hack. So to restrict the distribution of that material, especially regarding a presidential candidate, seems not in the keeping of the principles of New York versus Sullivan. I say this as a total Biden partisan and convinced he didn't do anything wrong, But the story now has become more about censorship than relatively innocuous emails. It has become a bigger deal than it would have been. It also is now leading serious efforts to curtail Section 230, many of which have been a mistake. I believe Twitter is still should curtail what it recommends or puts in trending news, and your policy against QAnon groups is all good. It's a hard balance. In the heat of a presidential campaign, restricting dissemination of newspaper articles, even if New York Post is far right, seems like it'll invite more backlash than it will do good. Please keep this communication between just us and Jack. No need to CC the team or forward to them. Just wanted to offer my 2 cents. Dude, you are a public official. Your emails about any of this shit should be public information. Everyone in their any journalist in their right mind should be filing a Freedom of Information Act to see any and all emails that you may have sent to anyone in Twitter about these issues. Because if this, especially if this was sent from like his official account, you know. I had to refresh on that. It was kind of cool. Within a day, head of public policy Lauren Culbertson receives a ghastly letter report from Carl Szabo of the research firm That Choice, which had already polled 12 members of Congress, 9 R's and 3 Democrats from the House Judiciary Committee to Rep. Judy Chu's office. That's what this says. Yes, Lauren. Yesterday, Net's Choice Chris Marchese met informally with 9 Republicans and 3 Democrats House staffers together until about FB and Twitter. The New York Post story. The staffers hail from the House Judiciary Committee to Rep. Judy Chu's office. They don't need to. Some of these emails they do not need to black out. These are business. I'll let them know. Because there's, well, except for maybe the row one, with the exception of the row one. No. With the exception. Let's see where we're at here. Ned Choice lets Twitter know a bloodbath awaits in upcoming Hill hearings, with members saying it's a tipping point, complaining tech has grown so big that they can't even regulate themselves, so government may need to intervene. Interesting that they're trying to say that both Democrats and Republicans were angry. James Baker at the FBI was told not to answer whether the FBI had a plan to remove real Donald Trump presidency. I mean, who knows? There may be just a general plan in place for something like that. If for some reason the president of the United States himself becomes a threat to national security, there may be a plan in place for what to do when that happens. Twitter hires former FBI analyst James Baker to join legal team. The Persistent says it's terrifying to think this information would have never been released had Elon not bought Twitter. The Democrats would have continued to gaslight us while secretly messaging Twitter to target our accounts and get us banned. Democrats are fascist gaslighters. Joe Biden is an illegitimate president. Now the whole world knows it. I don't know about that. This sounds normal and comports with normal policy discussion. How? Suppression is normal, everybody. Nothing to see here. It's so normal. Szabo reports to Twitter that some Hill figures are characterizing the laptop story as the Text Access Hollywood moment. That's text. When asked how bad the situation is, one staffer said it's Text Access Hollywood moment and it has no Hillary to hide behind. Others were more blunt. Tech is screwed, and rightfully so. Well, I mean, up until now, we've not really seen tech have any sort of fallout to this, and it's kind of hard to say what the fallout will be. I know that Republicans should try and do their thing, I guess, when it comes to having House Judiciary meetings, like what they did with the whole J6 committee hearings. They probably need to look into doing that. But the question is what really will ever come of it? And should Elon have not waited until after the election and after the midterms to even show us this? So, I mean, I suppose there is some interesting things here. This is interesting. For the first time, I can't tweet something more dystopian from the U.S. mini Twitter account. The Biden administration's social media corruption and collusion with Twitter truly takes the cake. So far, I'm not surprised by anything that I'm hearing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, I didn't know that the depths of the conversations that they were having, but obviously you can just kind of know without saying that obviously they were having them. Twitter files continue. The First Amendment is an absolute. Sasbo's letter contains chilling passages relating Democratic lawmakers' attitudes. They want more moderation. And as far for the Bill of Rights, it's not absolute. But I thought both Democrats and Republicans were angry. So, sounds to me like they were angry over different reasons. Republicans were angry because this wasn't being, let out more widely. The Democrats may have been angry because it was out at all. And it was hard to spin it. We don't even know what this screen grab is from. The Democrats, meanwhile, complain that the companies are inept. They let conservatives muddy the water and make the Biden campaign look corrupt, even though Biden is innocent. They linked this to Hillary Clinton's email scandal. She did nothing wrong, but because the press wouldn't let the story go, it became a scandal far out of proportion. In their mind, social media is doing the same thing. It doesn't moderate enough harmful content, so when it does, like it did yesterday, it becomes a story. If the companies moderated it more, conservatives wouldn't even think to use social media for disinformation, misinformation, or otherwise. Or otherwise. What is or otherwise? Like at all? to spread the truth? They wouldn't consider it to use it to spread the truth? Challenge any narratives? What? What is happening right now? The Democrats were in agreement social media needs to moderate more because they're corrupting democracy and making all of truth relative. Truth relative. Sometimes it gets hard to know exactly what the truth is. You hear a lot of different things. And it's like, which is true? I mean, supposedly there's supposed to be a difference between disinformation or misinformation. But ultimately, what it is something that is either true or it's a lie. It's either true or it's a lie. It may be a lie that contains a little bit of truth to make it believable. But I don't care for this crap. Oh, this is misinformation. This is Misinformation, this is disinformation. It's either the truth or it's a lie. Making up different words for things is how we make the truth relative. Well, it's not a lie, it's this. No, it's a lie. You lied. You are a liar. You are a lying liar that lies. It's really that simple. The Democrats were in agreement social media to moderate more. When pushed on how the government might insist on that, consistent with the First Amendment, they demurred. The First Amendment is an absolute. Whoa. Yeah, that's not gonna go over with some people. I mean, I've always understood it to kind of be absolute. What's the current record for the longest thread? So when is the First Amendment not absolute? Well, you know, I mean, there's been all kinds of things about those sorts of things, I think. Just like there's court proceedings challenging gun control laws. I'm pretty sure that there's been court proceedings that have been like, this should be free speech and this shouldn't. You know, for instance, when it's defamation or whatever, that is not protected by First Amendment. The laws are pretty clear on that. And sometimes in certain states they're able to successfully get certain lawsuits thrown out through anti-SLAPP laws that particular state has. And I've heard that those can be a bad thing because you don't even get through discovery to try to prove your case is right. And so a lot of people do not like anti-SLAPP laws because of that. So defamation might be a situation where you could say, this is as far as your free speech right goes. That's as far as it goes. You've got to be kidding me. Sounds like Twitter acted cautiously, appropriately, and in good faith. No, they acted in bad faith. Dumbasses. Hunter Biden celebrating his dad's victory, peanut butter and crack sandwich. Huh. They were not really acting in very good faith at all. Just no. If they're having to make up a reason for why it was being suppressed, then no, you were not acting in good faith. It's not how good faith works. That's not how any of this works. Well, it violated our hacked policies when it was pretty clear from the get-go, to me anyways, that none of this had been hacked. And the real problem with it is that even if it had been hacked, it was still true and people had the right to know about it. People had the right to know about it. They had the right to discuss it. And nobody at Twitter should have had the right to tell us we can't discuss it. An amazing subplot of the Twitter. Okay, I'm not sure I didn't miss anything. Major subplot of the Twitter Hunter Biden laptop affair was how much was done without the knowledge of COO Jack Dorsey and how long it took for the situation to get unfucked, as one ex-employee put it, even after Dorsey jumps in. So the one thing that I wasn't really expecting was for Jack Dorsey to initially kind of be given a pass here. Well, this really wasn't all of his fault. He wasn't up to speed on what was going on. He's the head of the company. He should be, he should be fucking aware of what's happening and what's going on with policies in his own company. Of course, the 1A is not absolute. The Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. They haven't. Twitter, FB, Insta, Mastodon, Parler, ETL are all apps, private businesses, easy. But that's not what people want. People want private businesses and companies to respect our right to share information, to discuss information, and spread information, because that is what their apps are about. Their apps are about sharing, spreading information, and discussing information, and connecting. We shouldn't, like in 1809, you would have used paper. Today we use electronics. When was the printing press invented? Let me find that out here real quick. I don't remember. Oh, and that was clear back in 1440. People used the technology of the day to in 1436. So people use the technology. Trying to figure out how exactly I want to say this. People use the technology of the day to speak about science. It began with drawings in caves and pottery. In 1436, it was the printing press. Today, we use electronic tech to express our freedom of speech. Tech owns the platforms, they don't own our speech. Easy. All right, let's see what else we got here. While reviewing Gaz's emails, I saw a familiar name, my own. Dorsey sent a copy of my Substack article blasting the incident. Explains why Jack wanted Twitter gone, too big for its britches. Elon Musk did not kill himself. Oh my word. This is actually related to something that's on Hunter Biden's laptop. I think that this picture is heavily redacted. But yeah. That's interesting. This was back on October 14th, 2020. It was already known that he was pissed about how others at Twitter handled it. Let's take a look at that. Wait a minute. Something came. What the fuck was that? Blocking it in. There was no reason to. I mean, is the New York Times not like considered an actual news company? Should any news company even have anything that they? If it's not pornography, they're not straight up printing pornography on their front page of their website. Should it be blocked ever under any circumstance? Oy. I still say this was a poor way to do this. This would have been much more interesting. Done as a live presentation. Seriously, Elon, ask us who do this regularly how it's done. All right, so where are we? There is multiple instances in the files of Dorsey intervening to clear suspensions and other moderation actions for accounts across the political spectrum. So, kind of the impression that we're being given here is that Jack Dorsey didn't really have it just seems like Jack Dorsey did not have much control over what exactly was being done, and that people were just kind of off doing their own thing. And Jack Dorsey was clueless until it was too late. And when he tried to jump in, it was hard to pull it back and rein it in. This man is currently breaking Twitter servers. Are some people getting that? Let's see. No, I'm not getting anything like that. I'm gonna be right back. All right. We're back. So yeah, Dorsey was I didn't even have that showing. Dorsey was questioning things, but he wasn't doing a good job of solving the underlying issue at all. Apparently, it's going to take some time for my camera to decide that it wants to work. I mean, far too many problems. There we go. But he just, other people had really kind of taken over running the show, as far as I could tell. Scott Presto says 40 minutes until the next drop. Huh? We would very much like to see a Twitter Files weekly drop. So it's just about Hunter Biden's lab test story. What about the suspensions? Oh, my stupid fucking cat. No, get on me. Do not get on here. Stay there. Not really sure. I'm confused about why that one dude was tweeting 40 minutes on this. No. I'm really confused. Go get it. Go get your toy. Go get it. There it is. Go get it. Go on. I'm going to have to go ahead and kick you out again. Because you're being obnoxious. Love you. So does this mean I have time to get dinner if we have 40 minutes until the next drop? I'm really confused. I don't understand what's going on. Let's go back to his. I'm trying to remember why I had this person muted. I heard a ding, and I don't know. Oh. You're welcome, Feisty Mama 71. I'm thinking that must have been the ding that I heard, I guess. My family is wanting me to listen to something. I'm gonna pause it and come back to it later. My brother is having some sort of Evangel University is playing some their concert band is playing something that he wrote. My brother's like a genius. Okay, so here we go. So this was the last tweet 20 minutes ago. Now he's supposed to this. The problem with the hacked ruling ruling, several sources said, was that the normally required official law enforcement finding of a hack. But such a finding never appears throughout what one executive describes as a 24-hour company-wide mess. Hi, Als. As you're probably aware, Twitter actions tweets yesterday relating took action sanctioned tweets yesterday relating to two New York Post articles that were tweeted out that allegedly included pictures and screenshots of emails from a laptop that allegedly belonged to Hunter Biden, President candidate Joe Biden's son. Our team made the determination that the materials fall under our hacked materials policy in addition to sharing personal information. So links were action. That's such a weird way of saying it. As you may know, this existing policy framework was launched in 2018 to mitigate real-time harm based on hack and leak scenarios coming out of the 2016 election. Is this I don't understand. Is this related to the fake Russian collusion hoax? Several high-profile accounts, including press outlets, were impacted by the decision and were actioned. Unfortunately, the language that was provided in the product may have created confusion. Indicating links for spam, as I said, consequently created safety, explain the reasoning here in a thread. This morning, New York Post tweeted additional links to stories that contain pictures and screenshots of emails that we also actioned. The teams determined that a Trump campaign tweet that previously was actioned for containing PPI would not be a reaction when it was retweeted without the PPI blurred. Personally protected information? Oh my god, why is my family choosing now to blow up my tweets? I love my family. I love you. I know that there are questions that you probably have and are also probably getting a lot of incoming from us shareholders, governmental, academic, civil society, etc. The last 24 hours certainly has been a whirlwind with lots of curves and unknowns, and we fully expect that the issues surrounding the matter will continue to swirl in the coming days. So thank you to everyone for your patience. I don't know why they're not saying which executive sent this. Send out a smiley face emoji if Hillary is in the room with you. Do not accept any drinks. Okay, so who called off Jack Dorsey? He was a CEO, so his phone must have rung. Someone said, reading this thread is painstaking. I'll just watch Fox News tomorrow for important details. Good night. Yeah, it's not. Again, Elon, the next time you want to do some kind of drop about something, there's this cool thing called a camera. Yeah. And there's also this cool thing. I'm using Restream.io. It allows me to put things on screen and live stream it to everyone. And you can just go bam, 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 bam on through it. It's pretty cool stuff. It's been a whirlwind 96 hours for me too. There's much more to come, including answers to questions about issues like shadow banning, boosting, follower accounts, the fate of various individual accounts, and more. These issues are not limited to the political right. So, what? 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 This is it! This is it! What? Well, y'all. I've been on here for over 2 hours waiting for him to share a series of tweets. So let me just give you what I think is the rundown here. Yes. You know, I don't even know. Where do we even fucking start? Yes, things like Mastodon, Twitter, they're private companies, and they can, in theory, relatively choose how it is that those sites are run, how those platforms are run. They can pick their policies, etc. The technology of the day has always played a role. Sorry to bang things around there. The technology of the day has always played a role in how free speech is shared and how it is disseminated. There was a time when it was cave art. Then taking ochre and putting it in the wall and communicating to you, these are the animals that we killed. These are the stories of our people, and this is what the weather was like today. And maybe pottery. But then eventually they invented the printing press. Eventually people learned to write. Our verbal language changed. Our ability to express us verbally increased and changed. But our ability with how we wrote also changed. And so eventually that technology was a quill pen and paper. But now the technology that we primarily use is this laptop, this camera. in today's society, the way it works, yeah, somebody owns this camera that I use. Somebody owns this computer, but they do not own what I say with those things. They, if I used to make films, if I used a camera created by Apple to make that movie, Apple does not own that movie. They own the proprietary technology used to make that movie. So I have a real problem with just because the information surrounding that laptop was controversial or caused problems in any way for anybody. That when expressing your opinion about something, that tech companies can be like, well, you can't talk about XYZ. They own the platform. They cross a line with how they try to control the way we use that platform when the platform's purpose is to communicate. So I think that someone like Rikita Law is probably going to say this a lot more, maybe intelligently than what I have, but that's all I got. So remember, y'all, this is us. This little tiny speck. This is the universe. However, it takes a lot of us to create this and create what we want the universe to be. We all have value in what that universe becomes. We all have equal stake in what that universe becomes. So take responsibility, be an active part of creating the universe that you want to be. God bless. Have a great weekend.